15,000 feet above the Red Sea, an American fighter pilot hears the worst sound imaginable. A sharp, continuous warning tone piercing through his helmet. Radar lock. Someone is targeting him. His radar warning receiver erupts with hostile symbols, red diamonds filling the screen. This is not a drill. Below, in Yemen, Houthi rebels have just launched a surface-to-air missile. It's climbing fast, heading straight for him. The pilot has less than 15 seconds. 15 seconds to make every decision that will determine if he lives or dies. The Houthis thought they had the perfect shot, an unsuspecting American jet, easy prey. They were dead wrong. What happens when you try to shoot down a United States Navy fighter jet? You're about to find out. This is the story of the day the Houthis made their biggest mistake and paid the ultimate price. Missile inbound, countermeasures deploying, a battle for survival that lasted less than 60 seconds. The Red Sea, a body of water that has become one of the most dangerous places on Earth. Connecting the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean, over 12% of global trade passes through here daily. Since late 2023, Houthi rebels in Yemen have waged an unprecedented campaign against international shipping. Drones, anti-ship missiles, ballistic missiles, they've launched hundreds of attacks against vessels in these waters. Their stated goal, solidarity with Palestine. Their actual targets, any ship with Western connections. Multiple ships have been hit, some abandoned, others limping to port with severe damage, crews evacuated under fire. But the Houthis wanted more. Attacking cargo ships wasn't enough. They wanted American military assets. U.S. Navy destroyers became targets. Guided missile cruisers engaged in almost daily defensive actions. And then they turned their attention skyward, to the fighter jets protecting the fleet. The United States responded with Operation Prosperity Guardian, a multinational coalition protecting commercial shipping. Aircraft carriers deployed to the region, strike groups positioned for both defense and response. FA-18 Super Hornets now flew daily combat air patrols, watching, waiting, ready for anything. The Houthis had been studying American patrol patterns, looking for the perfect moment to strike. And on one morning in early 2025, they finally thought they had their opportunity. To understand what happened that day, you need to know what was flying over the Red Sea. The FA-18E Super Hornet, the backbone of United States Navy carrier aviation for over 2 decades. This aircraft has seen more combat than almost any jet currently in service, battle-tested, proven deadly. It's not just a fighter, it's a strike platform, reconnaissance asset, and electronic warfare aircraft all in one. 2 General Electric F414 turbofan engines, 44,000 pounds of combined thrust pushing it through the sky. Maximum speed exceeds Mach 1.8, over 1,300 miles per hour, faster than most threats can track. But speed alone doesn't keep pilots alive, defensive systems do, and this jet has the best. The AN-PG-79 Active Electronically Scanned Array Radar. It can track dozens of targets simultaneously at ranges exceeding 100 miles. The radar warning receiver provides 360-degree threat awareness. It knows when enemies are looking and when they're targeting. The ALQ-214 Integrated Defensive Electronic Countermeasures System. It jams enemy radar, disrupts missile guidance, buys precious seconds. Countermeasure dispensers carry 60 flares and 60 chaff cartridges, multiple salvos available for layered defense. Flares burn at over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, designed to seduce infrared-guided missiles away from the aircraft. Chaff creates clouds of metallic strips. Radar sees them as targets. The real jet disappears into the noise. Combined together, these systems create a nearly impenetrable defense, but against determined enemies, nothing is guaranteed. Now, let's examine what the Houthis were using, the threat that reached up from the desert that day. The Houthis operate various surface-to-air missile systems, many supplied by Iran, others captured or improvised. Their most capable systems include variants derived from Soviet-era designs, the SA-6 Gainful and similar platforms. These missiles can reach aircraft flying at 40,000 feet, effective range between 15 and 25 miles depending on variant. They use semi-active radar homing. A ground radar illuminates the target. The missile follows the reflected energy. Speed, Mach 2.8 or faster. These missiles can outrun the jets they're chasing. You cannot simply fly away. The warhead contains over 100 pounds of high explosive, fragmentation pattern designed to shred aircraft structures. A direct hit is not required. Proximity fuse detonation sends thousands of fragments in all directions, lethal within 50 feet. The Houthis had used these weapons before, successfully against slower drones, against helicopters, lower and slower targets. But engaging a modern fighter jet, a fully equipped Super Hornet, that's an entirely different challenge. The Houthis were confident. They had been tracking American patrol patterns for weeks. They knew the routes. They positioned their best SAM battery in a concealed location, waited for the right moment, the right target. The morning of the incident began like any other for Lieutenant Commander Michael Torres. Wake up at 4:30 a.m., mission brief at 5:15 a.m., walk to the jet at 5:45 a.m., launch by 6 a.m. The mission was standard: combat air patrol over the Red Sea, provide cover for the carrier strike group. His wingman was Lieutenant Jessica Kim, experienced, sharp, 3 deployments under her belt. They launched at sunrise, 2 Super Hornets climbing into a pale orange sky over the Arabian Sea. The climb-out was smooth, systems checking nominal, weather clear, standard departure from the carrier. They rendezvoused with their tanker at 20,000 feet, topped off fuel tanks, proceeded to station. The patrol area was 100 miles of ocean stretching along the Yemeni coastline. Hours of flying, watching, waiting. For the first 90 minutes, nothing happened. The Red Sea was quiet, radio chatter minimal. Voodoo checked in with the E-2D Havoc orbiting behind them, the flying radar station that watched everything. Overlord, Voodoo flight, on station, picture clean, standard radio call, nothing to report. Then, at 8:47 local time, something changed. Voodoo's radar warning receiver chirped once, a brief electronic whisper. He noted the bearing, 235 degrees, toward the Yemeni coastline. Could be routine surveillance radar, could be nothing. But experience taught him to pay attention. The Houthis had been probing lately, testing, searching for patterns. He keyed the radio. Archer, Voodoo, you catching anything 235? I got a single sweep. Affirm, Voodoo. Intermittent contact. Looks like search radar. SA-6 or similar signature. His wingman confirmed. They reported to the Havoc. Possible SAM activity along the coast. The carrier was notified. Alert status elevated. The orders came back clear. Continue patrol. Maintain situational awareness. Do not engage unless directly threatened. For another 15 minutes, the radar swept intermittently. On, off, on, off. Classic cat and mouse. Voodoo adjusted his patrol route slightly, moving a few miles seaward, increasing his distance from the coast. He wasn't afraid, but he wasn't stupid either. No point giving them an easy solution. At 9:03, everything changed. The intermittent chirping became a solid tone, continuous, aggressive, hostile.
The Houthis had switched from search to track. They had locked him up. A targeting solution was being computed. Overlord, Voodoo, I'm spiked. Bearing 230. Looks like SA-6 or better. Request advisory. Before anyone could respond, the tone changed again. Higher, more urgent. The computer knew what was coming. Missile launch, missile launch. The automated voice cut through everything. They had fired. Somewhere in the Yemeni desert, a SAM roared off its rail, orange flame and white smoke marking its ascent. Voodoo didn't have time to think. Training took over, thousands of hours compressed into instinct. Defending, he shouted into the radio, the universal call that everything was about to change. First decision, turn toward the threat or turn away. Doctrine says turn into it, shorten the missile's advantage. He rolled left, hard, banking toward the Yemeni coast, directly toward the missile. Counterintuitive, but correct. The G-forces hit instantly, 5 Gs, 6 Gs, blood being forced from his brain toward his feet. His G-suit inflated automatically, squeezing his legs and abdomen, forcing blood back toward his heart and brain. Vision started to narrow, gray edges creeping in, the tunnel effect every fighter pilot knows. He executed the anti-G straining maneuver, flexing every muscle, grunting hard, fighting to stay conscious. 7 Gs now, his body weighing over 1,000 pounds, arms feeling like lead, but still flying. The missile was climbing fast, Mach 2.5 and accelerating, covering miles in seconds, no time for hesitation. His thumb found the countermeasure button, years of muscle memory guiding his hand without conscious thought. Flares, he punched the button, once, twice, 3 times, a cascade of burning magnesium erupting behind him. 36 flares arced through the sky, each burning at 2,000 degrees, brilliant decoys for infrared seekers. But this wasn't a heat seeker. The SA-6 uses radar guidance. Flares alone wouldn't defeat it. He hit the chaff button. Bundles of metallic strips exploded into the air. Radar confusion warfare. Thousands of aluminum strips bloomed into a massive radar reflective cloud, the missile's seeker now seeing multiple targets. Simultaneously, his electronic warfare system screamed jamming energy at the Houthi radar, noise, confusion, deception. The missile was now 12 seconds from impact, closing at over 2,000 miles per hour, time running out. Voodoo didn't wait to see if the countermeasures worked. He kept maneuvering, never predictable, never static. Another burst of chaff, another salvo of flares, layering his defenses, overwhelming the missile's guidance. His wingman, Archer, had already reacted, banking away, getting clear, ready to assist if needed. The Hawkeye was tracking everything, relaying position data to the carrier, everyone watching this unfold in real time. 8 seconds to impact. The missile was struggling now. Too many targets, too much interference, guidance degrading. Voodoo made his final move. He rolled inverted and pulled, a split S maneuver, diving toward the ocean. Afterburners ignited, both engines at maximum power, the jet accelerating downward past the speed of sound. He was heading for the water now, using the sea surface to mask his radar return, terrain hiding. Ground clutter, ocean waves create radar noise, his jet disappearing into the electronic chaos of the surface. 5 seconds, 4, 3, the missile was right behind him, closing fast. This was going to be close. He pulled out of the dive, 9 Gs crushing him into the seat, vision almost completely gray. The ocean surface rushed past, less than 500 feet below. Trees would have scraped the belly. And then the missile shot past, 200 feet to his left, a gray blur trailing smoke, gone. It continued into empty sky, guidance lost, fuel exhausting. The warhead never detonated. He had beaten it. Voodoo watched it tumble toward the Red Sea, splashing down harmlessly, his heart pounding against his ribs. He leveled off, hands shaking slightly on the controls, adrenaline flooding every cell, but alive, undamaged. Overlord, Voodoo, missile defeated, I am undamaged, continuing to defend. Professional voice hiding raw emotion. The missile was gone, the immediate threat neutralized, but the engagement was far from over. The Houthis had shot at an American fighter jet. Rules of engagement were clear. He was now authorized to respond. Voodoo, Overlord, you are cleared to engage the SAM site. Weapons free. Coordinates follow. The order came fast. His targeting pod was already slewing toward the Yemeni coast, infrared and visual, looking for the launcher. There, 18 miles inland, the SAM radar vehicle, the launcher still beside it. They were trying to reload. Too slow. They thought they could take another shot. They thought wrong. Voodoo selected his weapon, AGM-88 HARM, high-speed anti-radiation missile, the radar killer. The HARM homes on radar emissions, follow the beam directly back to its source, lethal and precise. The HARM hit first. The radar vehicle disappeared in a flash of fragmentation. No more targeting capability. 3 seconds later, Archer's bombs landed. The launcher and everything around it simply ceased to exist. Secondary explosions followed, unfired missiles cooking off, fuel tanks igniting, the site burning itself out. The targeting pod recorded everything, every second, complete destruction confirmed, target eliminated. Overlord, Voodoo, and Archer, target destroyed, SAM site neutralized, RTB at this time, mission complete. Total elapsed time from missile warning to site destruction, less than 6 minutes, American efficiency. Voodoo and Archer landed back on the carrier 45 minutes later, maintenance crews swarming their jets immediately. The countermeasure dispensers were nearly empty. Voodoo had used almost everything he had. That's how close it was. Neither aircraft had sustained any damage, not a single hole, not a scratch. The defenses had worked perfectly. In the ready room, intelligence officers debriefed both pilots, every detail recorded, every decision analyzed. Targeting pod footage was sent to Central Command, then to the Pentagon, high-level review of the entire engagement. This wasn't just about one pilot and one missile, it was about establishing a clear message. The message was simple: shoot at American aircraft, lose your launcher, immediately, completely, no exceptions. The Houthis noticed. In the weeks following, their SAM activity near American patrol routes dropped significantly. They still attacked ships, still launched drones, but targeting fighter jets, they became much more careful. Iran received the message too. Their proxies had been humiliated, expensive weapons destroyed, accomplishing nothing. China and Russia watched carefully. Both nations sell air defense systems. Both want to challenge American air power. They saw how American training, technology, and tactics defeated their equipment relatives, lessons learned everywhere. For the U.S. Navy, the engagement validated years of investment, training programs, defensive systems, pilot proficiency. Lieutenant Torres flew again the next day, same patrol route, same mission, business as usual. That's what separates professionals from amateurs. They keep going, no matter what happened yesterday. The Red Sea remains contested. The Houthis haven't stopped attacking, but now they understand the cost. Every radar they activate might bring an American missile. Every launch attempt risks immediate destruction. That's deterrence, not just threatening force, demonstrating it, making the cost of aggression absolutely clear. So here's our question for you. Could you have stayed calm in that cockpit? 15 seconds, missile screaming toward you, 9Gs crushing your body. Would you have made the right calls? Drop your answer in the comments below. We read every single one and respond to the best takes. If this story got your adrenaline pumping, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more military aviation content, new documentaries every week. The Houthis tried to shoot down an American fighter jet.
They failed, and they paid the price. The next time they think about targeting U.S. aircraft, they'll remember exactly what happened that day. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you